Latest football news,
engaging debates,
and fascinating opinions.
Pitchside Talk on IO Radio.
Yes, and welcome back to Pitchside Talk on IO Radio. We're back for another week. I'm George.
I'm Dan, again.
Yes, he's back.
I'm back.
He's always back. He's always here. He never leaves. Signed that lifetime contract, you can't leave now.
I'm stuck in this room now.
Yeah, like me. We're stuck here now for the rest of our lives. Talking about football. Well, we've got lots coming out on the show today, but before I forget to mention, follow us on our social medias, talk_pitch on Instagram and also at talk_pitch on Twitter. Also, if you want to listen to any of our previous shows, go to our YouTube channel, Pitchside Talk. You can find them all there as a podcast. Ooh.
Yeah.
So, Dan, what have we got coming up today?
Today we're going to be talking about Ipswich once again. We've got a few games we're going to talk about. Oh, 2 games, actually.
Yeah, 2.
We're going to be talking about the Premier League again and the games at the weekend and also Champions League that was on yesterday. Yeah. And there's fixtures today as well.
Yes, there is fixtures today. So let's get on with it. Stay up to date with the latest footy news.
Pitchside Talk on IO Radio.
Yes, welcome back. Pitchside Talk on IO Radio. Now, Dan, we were talking about the double bill.
Yep.
Well, you could call it actually the triple bill.
Yeah,
Coventry.
It was
really.
triple.
The triple games. Well, it's played Coventry 3 times in 10 days or twice in... How many days are we talking? 4 days?
Yeah, 4 days.
Yeah, 4 days. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
It's like they just want to play Coventry all the time.
Yeah. I don't want to play Coventry again.
Do you not?
No.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, we'll start off with Saturday's game. Ipswich have some deja vu against Coventry after drawing 1-1. This time in League One, so they get a point for it, not a replay.
Mm-hmm.
Will Keane scored as well, which is quite ironic as well.
Yeah,
he scored in the other one.
Yeah, took the lead with Will Keane twice in a row.
Oh gosh. What were your thoughts on that result?
Yeah, it was a little bit disappointing. League One is our priority, so we want to be getting wins in League One, and results haven't been great at the moment. So I think we needed to kind of get a result from this. But a point away, Coventry are doing quite well in the league at the moment. I think they're in 6th place, so maybe a draw was a good result. It seemed like a fair result as well. I think first half we were brilliant. It seemed like we were passing it around really well. People were saying that that's the best they've seen us play this year, but of course it's a game of 2 halves again. We come out of the second half and can't play. So yeah, I think we were a little bit unfortunate in this game, but I guess I'll take a point.
Were you quite surprised by the lineup? Because a lot of people were saying, "Is this the wrong lineup? This is supposed to be Tuesday's lineup." Yeah,
I was quite surprised about this lineup. To see I know Chambers was injured, but seeing no Chambers was a surprise. As well as playing one up front with Keane in there, because I know Norwood was suspended for this game, but I thought we'd play Keane and Jackson together. We haven't really seen much of Keane and Jackson.
We saw it against Rotherham.
Against Rotherham, but that was a poor game as well.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, so we haven't seen much of that, but he decides to go one up front, and I've said on this show lots of times that I don't like one up front. But it seemed like Keane done a decent job in the end up front by himself. So yeah, it was good to see that. I think he's that type of player that can play up front by himself. So if we are going to play that formation, I think he's the best choice for that role.
Well, it's just about go. Lambert decided to play Will Keane up top by himself. He did well. He scored a goal and he had quite a very good performance for Will Keane. We haven't seen him really have good performances in Ipswich Town shirts of recently. He seems to score goals, but not consistently. But he has scored now 6 goals in 23 appearances, more than he's done at Wigan, QPR, Sheffield Wednesday, Preston North End, Hull City, and Manchester United's first team.
Yeah, that's mad. That is
as a bit concerning, but he seems he's now flourishing in his career, which is quite nice to see. But did he sort of show enough evidence that Ipswich could play one up top, maybe with him, possibly?
Well, maybe. I think Lambert will probably look into that. Me personally, I don't think we should play one up front. But if it's working, if Keane's scoring goals, then I think Lambert will probably take that into consideration. But I personally don't like when we play one up front, especially if we're going to play Jackson or Norwood, because they just look isolated. I prefer to play 2. But Keane had a good performance, so maybe we'll start with one up front in future games.
Maybe we will. But it's another opportunity to go closer to Wickham, who weren't playing because they were supposed to be playing Bury, but
Yes.
unfortunately Bury don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Ipswich could have gone 2 points behind them, would have win, but they didn't. They're now 4 points behind. But do you feel it's another missed opportunity by Town after what we've seen against Blackpool and Wickham? I know Wickham was out of their hands, really. It was in somebody else's hands, but there were still opportunities in that game to win that. But do you think there's a bit of a problem at the moment, just seeing out games, being consistent?
Yeah, I think consistency is quite a problem at the moment. You know, I think we saw the last league home win was against Tranmere, which was the 28th of September. I know we haven't had much league home games since then. I think we've had 3, but that's still quite concerning that we haven't been winning games. So that's something to look into. And I think it is a missed opportunity because, you know, if we would have got that win, then we would have been 2 points behind Wickham with a game in hand as well. So it would have been a great result to get that win. But, you know, it's always going to be tough to play Coventry because, as we saw yesterday, which we'll get into, they're a very decent side. So, you know, it's difficult. But, yeah, I think definitely a missed opportunity on Saturday.
Well, now we will get into yesterday's game. This was actually going to be the first game where there was actually a winner decided.
Yes.
Out of the 2 other matches. And Coventry land a knockout blow on Ipswich Town's FA Cup campaign. Now, I was there as well.
Yes,
with
you were. Yeah.
I froze out there. I think we
were all frozen.
It was all windy and wet. It was horrible. It was a horrible match to go and watch. But what are your initial thoughts on the performance? They lost 2-1.
Yeah,
it didn't look too great.
No, it was very poor yesterday. You know, it's very concerning, that performance, because that was a lot of our first team in that squad yesterday, and we were playing against Coventry, who are a League One side. So for me, it was a little bit concerning that we put out that kind of performance. You know, it took me back to last season when we were poor. We conceded 2 goals, get a goal late on to make it 2-1. Fans get hopeful, but nothing comes from it. Too little, too late. And yeah, there was just no urgency whatsoever yesterday. It just seemed like the players didn't really care. That's how it looked to me. So yeah, very, very poor evening.
It sort of last night reminded me a bit of when Mick McCarthy was there. With sort of the atmosphere was a bit. It seemed to win a little bit toxic. I thought toward the end when they especially had that second shot in front of the Bobby Robson end, and everyone was celebrating that. That sort of just reminded me of the Mick days. Really, did that sort of that impression to you?
Yeah, it did seem like that. I think, you know, when we were on the Mick, it just seemed like we're going into draws for every single game, and you know that's what Mick's now famous for, going into away games wanting to draw, or sometimes even home games. So yeah, that did seem reminiscent to that. But to be honest, I think we need to look at the bigger picture and think these are cup games, and we are second in League One. It's not like we're having an awful season. So I think the fans need to kind of look at that and think we're not in that bad of a situation overall.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said about the first team. It was a lot of first team members. Jackson and Norwood back in. Who else? Edwards was in. Skews, Judge, Wolferton, and Holy. Quite first team members.
Yeah.
Maybe Emmy Hughes on a certain occasion. Yeah. He seems a bit in and out of the squad.
Yeah,
really.
He does. He hasn't really. He's been okay, I guess, since he's come back, but he hasn't really got off the mark yet.
No, but is it quite concerning to sort of see a strong squad, more stronger than the 1-1 draw on Saturday, and they're just going into a match, no motivation, no desire, no fight. I know it might be a cup game, but it's still good to try and put yourself up against a League One side. Yeah. See where you're sort of hitting level pegging, but there's just nothing there.
Yeah, I think before the game, Lambert probably knew that Coventry were going to put out a strong squad, and you know he probably put this team out to combat that. But just from the off, we didn't look interested, and I don't know what it was. We started with a 4-4-2. I think Judge was coming inside so much, like so far inside that their right hand side was just free the whole time. And
scared Kenlock, really.
Yeah, Kenlock was just he didn't know what to do against O'Hare on that right hand side. So all of their attacks were coming down that right hand side. And you know, I like to see players going into challenges and trying to fight for the ball, but yesterday we saw none of that. And you know, it is concerning that a lot of these players are our first team players, and this is the kind of squad we'll be playing in League One games. So a little bit concerning, but I think we'll try and skip over this game yesterday and go on to Saturday.
I just want to ask you one thing before we move on to other things. But you said about Judge there playing down the left-hand side, kept coming in. Should he maybe just be playing in that centre? Just don't put him on the left because it seemed to struggle. And when they put Garbutt on that left, it seemed a bit more solid. Yeah, but is that a problem that they've got?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you watch Judge play, when he's asked to play on the left, he comes inside so much. His natural position is to play in that 10 role, so that's why that happens. So I think he definitely suits playing in that number 10 role. So he hasn't. Every time he's played on the wing, I don't think he's looked very good. Like last night, he wasn't great on that left hand side. You know, when Garbutt came on in the second half, we changed to a 3-4-2.
Yeah, or 3-5-2.
3-5-2.
It's very flexible, really.
Yeah, that's what I meant. 3-5-2. Yeah, it's very flexible. So we did look a little bit better in the second half, but it was still a bit, lackluster. But yeah, I'd play Judge in that 10 role because I think that's just where his playing style suits.
Okay, well, are we seeing now a lot of sort of bumps in the road for Ipswich at the moment? The last league victory was against Rochdale. That was a month ago. The last home victory is on the 20th of September. I know we've not had many home games and lots of breaks in between because of international breaks and that, but are we just seeing a lot of problems now in this campaign, or is it Peel looking into it too much?
I think there's a bit of both, really. I think, there has been bumps in the road. I think the cup games have affected it because there's been so many. It's unbelievable how many cup games we've had.
We've had like 4, more than league games.
Yeah, so that's probably taken a toll on the players. But I think we do need to look at the bigger picture and think, if we, at the start of the season, would you have taken being second in the league with a game in hand and 4 points ahead of Peterborough behind you? I think we probably would have.
I would have done after saying my predictions.
Yeah, I think we probably would have taken that. So, we've got a lot of league games coming up this month. We've got a run of league games up until Exeter in the leasing.com trophy. So
I think there's 4 games in the space of, 3 or 2 weeks, something like that. Crazy.
Yeah, I think so. So, yeah, we've got time to, get back on track. Hopefully we'll get them results coming up this month.
Well, actually, speaking of league games, they play Bristol Rovers on Saturday at home, the first home game since, in the league since Wickham.
Yep.
After that, oh God, let's not go near that. What are your score predictions for that? Because, looking at the record against Bristol, it's sort of a bit mixed.
Yeah.
The last time they played Bristol, they won in the League Cup 3-1. Luke Chambers actually played that game.
Yes.
And it must have been his debut, you said?
Yes, I think it was.
And but the last time they lost to Bristol Rovers at home, it was the Boxing Day, 1958. So, it looks like it could be a steel victory, but Bristol Rovers are 5th in League One. Another tough side like Coventry.
Yeah.
What could we maybe expect on Saturday?
I'm hoping we go into the game. I think after this game yesterday, they'll be up for it. So I think there'll be a lot more trying to get that goal. It's going to be a close game, 100%. So I think that there's going to be one goal in it. So I think that I'm going to go for 2-1 to Ipswich on Saturday. I think we will get the win, but it's going to be a tough game.
Ooh, all right then. That's some fighting spirit, that is. And when we come back, we'll be talking about the Premier League, where there was actually a derby.
Yes.
A big derby, the Manchester derby. Famous for all sorts of things.
Pitchside Talk on IO Radio.
Yes, that is right. Pitchside Talk. It is one of our own here on IO Radio. And now we're going to be talking about the Premier League. And we did tease it, a big derby. The Manchester derby happened. The first one of this season. And Manchester is red.
Yes.
Once again. Oh God, that's bad for me. But I'm actually kind of sort of happy that happened.
Yeah.
We won't go into any further detail, or it'll be too biased. But the Noisy Neighbours deliver a crushing blow to Manchester City. We'll go into Manchester City a little bit later on. But how much of a big result is this for Manchester United? It's been a big week, really.
Yeah, it has. It's been a massive week because they've beaten 2 top 6 sides. So
yeah, at the start of the week, there was reports that Ollie's job was under threat. He's apparently said to the players that these 2 games could decide his future.
Yeah,
and if they have, they're delivered, haven't they? The players.
Yeah, they have. It's a massive result. I did just say top 6 sides, and it was Tottenham. They're not no.
Yeah.
So yeah, but although they are sick for the moment.
They are sick.
Okay,
They're sick.
I'm not very good with the Premier League table. So, but anyway, yeah, massive result for Man United. You know, I was very surprised actually. I didn't think they'd go into this game and actually win the game. So, yeah, I guess. Well, it's good to see for you because you're wanting Man City to lose that game. But I guess it's a bit.
It is a bit.
Yeah.
I was sort of like, I want to draw, but
Yeah.
I don't mind a loss.
Yeah.
But I want to draw.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good to see for Man United. You know, Rashford's on fire at the moment for them. So it is actually good to see because Ollie, you know, he's had a tough time at the start of this season, but you know, it seems like Man United are getting into it now, and this result, you know, only helps him going forward.
Poor Ollie. Poor Ollie. Well, this is actually Manchester United's first back-to-back win this season in the Premier League. Rashford's now done his best. He's equalled his best return at Manchester United, 13 goals and 21 appearances in all competitions. This is crazy.
Yes.
Looking at where they are now in the league table, I think they are 6th.
Yeah.
They're only 5 points off top 4. They could, as a season that's sort of been a bit topsy turvy, they could be top 4 contenders.
Well, yeah, I think we can say there will be. You know, it's only the 5. Well,
5 points.
5 points.
5 points.
I don't know how. That's the old league table, I think. But yeah, 5 points. So you know, there's a chance that they can get into that. They've had a good couple of games. I don't know who their next fixtures are. You didn't get your booklet out, but you know these results will only bring confidence to the team. You know they've got quite a young squad actually. You know they're playing players like Greenwood and they're coming into the squad. So I don't know if they have enough to get into the top 4, because we have seen the weaknesses that can come into this Man United side. So maybe they can get into the top 4 at the end of this year, but it's going to be a tough ask for them to do that. But I still think they're contenders at the moment.
Okay, well, the next game is Everton at home.
Okay, so
yeah,
should be winning that game.
Should be winning that game. Well, now moving on to Manchester City. This is quite concerning because the stats now saying that in top flight history, no side has gone on to win the league title after being 14th behind the top side. It's now Pep Guardiola's worst points return after 16 games in all his managerial career. Last time Man City were third was 15-16, where they actually had the same amount of points, same amount of wins, same amount of draws, same amount of losses, and they went on to finish 4th that season. This is worrying times for Pep. Now it looks like it could be more of a top 4 battle. It looks like he's getting slowly crawled into this mess that he doesn't want to be in. Yeah,
it looks like it's turning into that at the moment. They are on 32 points, so they've got that bit of a gap to 5th place. But that could be a couple of losses, and we know how Man City can lose this year. So it's more than possible. But I do think Man City have the squad that can stay in that top 4. They'll want to finish 2nd. They're not that far behind Leicester, so maybe they can crawl that back. But yeah, I think it is a bit worrying for Pep at the moment, and I guess we'll get into what he said in his interview in a minute. But
we will.
Worrying times, I think.
Yes. Well, I have to ask you: have teams sort of found a way now how to beat Man City this season? Because we've sort of seen a bit of a struggled Man City. Have they just found a way to beat them, or has it just been down to what was happened with the injuries? Aguero was out for this game; he's going to be back in January.
Yeah.
Leroy Sané's out until February time with that knee injury. Laporte's out until March, February time with his knee injury. Is that just a bit of a problem injuries wise, or is it more that they just teams have found them and they're not evolving into something new?
I think maybe it is a little bit of both, because I remember the Newcastle game. Man City couldn't string 2 passes together because every time they got the ball, Newcastle just crowded them in their attacking area. So maybe it's a bit of that. Maybe I think injuries do have had a problem. Laporte, he was massive for Man City last season, so he was a massive miss. They have to play Fernandinho at centre back, which he's not really a centre back, so that's difficult for him. So I do think it's a little bit of both for that, because I maybe think it's a bit more towards injuries, because I know how much that can affect the squad. We'll see how they do coming up in these next few games. See if they can actually cement themselves in that top 4.
We will. Well, after the game, Pep Guardiola said, my team might not be able to compete with the top teams in Europe, and we might have to accept that reality. Is that sort of Pep's now sort of going that we might not be able to win the Premier League, and maybe he might want to put more focus into Champions League, but he doesn't know if he can do it or not, because Man City haven't got past the quarter-finals with him.
Yeah.
Is this a worrying time for Pep, possibly? Because when he was on about the first season in England, he finished 4th. He was on about he thought he was going to get sacked. And there was big things that he was going to get sacked.
Yeah.
Is this now he's thinking that his career at Man City could be possibly over, or is it just he's just worried?
I think he's just. I don't think his job's really in doubt at the moment. I think he's just a bit worried that his team aren't good enough. But it's not good to see your manager come out and say this. It's not good for the players, I don't think. Because, I don't know, I think Man City, they haven't had a great season, but they do have enough to be one of them teams. So for your managers to come out and say that, it's going to affect you as a player, I think. But maybe Pep is a little bit worried about his job security, but at the moment I think he's okay. But yeah, it is gonna be tough for them to get into the last stages of the Champions League. So I think he has got a point there, but not great for your manager to be saying.
Not great at all. Well, we'll move on to the other games that happened. Duncan Ferguson took over the Everton job on Friday after Marcus Silva was sacked on Thursday after the 5-2 loss at Anfield in the Merseyside derby. And, well, he got off to a flying start, winning 3-1 against Chelsea.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird. He's now the 7th manager to take over since David Moyes has left. All these 7 managers, if they're caretakers or permanents, have won their opening game.
Wow.
Everton made the most tackles of 37 against Chelsea, the most by any team this season, and the most Everton have made this league in all decade. As Duncan Ferguson maybe brought some energy back into Everton. He's, we all know he's played for Everton a long time ago. He's a very scary striker.
Yes.
I don't know what he's like in the dressing room. He must be very scary.
Yeah.
No wonder these players actually performed for once. But are we maybe seeing that he might want to take on the job? We know there's lots of people rumoured about the job. But could he be a potential candidate for this?
I think it's hard to say after one game, obviously. But, if he's getting results, then that's all that matters, really. I think, football is results. That's all that matters. I guess if you go into a game and you perform badly but get the win, that's all that counts. So I think that if he starts getting wins under his belt, then he'll definitely be considered for that job. But yeah, I think he's brought some energy into the squad. He's a legend at Everton, so the fans love him and they're going to get behind him no matter what. I guess the players, they seem like they like to play under him from this first game. So we'll see how it goes because, he could be another Ollie and be a legend and take over.
He could be possibly, or Frank Lampard, who was on the other side. Well. He looked quite depressed. This is this is the first time since actually conceding they've actually scored a goal in a match after conceding the first goal.
Yeah.
But it's just worrying times maybe for Franks because if we look at his results, from Newcastle to Crystal Palace, he won 4 games. From Man City to Everton, he's only won 1 and lost 3.
Yeah.
It's just worrying times for Frank at the moment. Looking at if Pep's going to be in this top 4 scrap and he's in 3rd and Frank's in 4th, Frank's got to be definitely in this.
Yeah, I think he's definitely in this top 4 scrap. I think he's done well considering because, they had a transfer ban. Yeah, it's been lifted now, but they did have a transfer ban, so he couldn't really bring anyone in the summer. So he's had a tough time. So I think he's done well considering, and I think the Chelsea fans like him, but it's going to be difficult when you get into this top 4 battle because, Man United are on a run now. So Tottenham, they're doing well under Mourinho now, so they're going to be wanting to push up into that top 4. So yeah, it's not the greatest place to be in that position in 4th place with teams catching you, but they need to just keep getting these results now. I think he'll be all right.
Keep getting results. Well, we'll move on to 2 different battles actually. One that's at the top and one that could be involved in a relegation little battle. Bournemouth lost 3-0 to Liverpool on the weekend. Liverpool now 14 points ahead of Manchester City.
Yep.
Quite worrying times for them. But we'll move on to Bournemouth first. This is their first time they've lost 5 straight matches in the Premier League. The last time they lost 5 straight matches was in March 2013 in League One.
Wow.
Crazy times. But looking at where they are in the table, they are actually no, that's not right, is it? That's not the right table. So
that was from Saturday.
That's from Saturday. At the moment they're 15th on 16 points. Southampton are 18th in the relegation zone on 15. This is worrying times for Eddie Howe because his next game is Chelsea, and a loss that could put him in the relegation zone, could put his job under threat really. And we're on about him going to big clubs.
Yeah.
Does he need to get the results now?
Yeah, I think he definitely needs to get the results now. I think it's around now where if you're in that relegation scrap, then it's going to start getting difficult. But I think, I don't know, I feel like Eddie Howe's one of them managers that even if Bournemouth do get relegated, he'll probably stay because he's been at Bournemouth for so long. They love him there and they know that he can, get them back up if they go down. So I don't think his job is in doubt at the moment. But yeah, it's... Bournemouth, they've done it fantastically. Like 5 years ago, they were in League One. So they've done brilliantly. But, it's going to be difficult for teams like Bournemouth to stay in the Premier League for a long period of time. And I do think they do have enough to stay up this year. But, it's going to be tough going into next year, I think, for them to be in that relegation scrap.
Another masterclass performance by Liverpool, winning 3-0. Now 14 points ahead of Manchester City in the league table. I guess it's now theirs to lose, isn't it? Yeah,
I think so. Definitely. Well, I think they're just on fire at the moment. I know I say that every single week, but it's just true, isn't it?
Yeah, we can't say anything else.
No one can catch them. So yeah,
no one can catch them. Well, we'll move on to Tottenham, who won 5-0 against Burnley after some incredible goals. Harry Kane's first goal and then Son's run. That was like FIFA, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It's like nobody could stop him. But Tottenham look back. Jose Mourinho has seen his side score 5 goals in Premier League for the first time since 2015 when Chelsea won 5-0 against Swansea. He is, as Jose now reinvented, this is his now Tottenham. This is Tottenham squad. And when he hits January and possibly brings somebody in, there is talks of it, could we maybe see a late contenders for the top 4 and maybe early title challengers for next season?
I think definitely they can be considered as top 4 challengers. They're not really that far behind when you look at the league table. So they've definitely got a chance. I think Jose has brought energy back to Tottenham, under Poch right at the end. It just went flat and
it went quite a bit sour.
Yeah, it went sour. The fans weren't happy, but now Jose's come in. He seems like a new man. It's very strange.
I know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird to see Jose like this because you expect Jose to be just grumpy all the time, but he actually seems happy. He says he loves the players, and it seems like they love playing under him. So yeah, they could be late challengers.
He is the humble one now.
Yeah, he is.
Burnley, a bit of concerning. They've lost. Burnley have lost 10 of their Premier League games starting at the day in the top half. But I guess it's just they'll be fine at the end of the season. But it's concerning to see 5 goals. They conceded 4 against Man City.
Yeah, especially when your team's like known for having a great defence.
Yeah,
struggling. People struggled to get wins against Burnley in the past. So yeah, a bit worrying. But I think they have enough to stay up.
Yeah, when we move on to the only game actually we saw 0-0 in, Watford, Crystal Palace, the 2 sides that scored the least goals this season. Watford now winners in 12 Premier League games. That's the longest run without a victory on home soil.
I think it was destined to be 0-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably. There wasn't much to really talk about, but the big news is from Watford. They have a new manager.
Yes.
In Nigel Pearson, famous for managing Leicester, so doing the great escape, they call it, and then getting sacked for reasons we cannot say on the radio because his son was involved. But it's a good appointment by Watford to have Nigel Pearson at the helm.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a decent appointment. He's had experience in the Premier League. But for me, I think that Watford are in that position now that whenever anyone that takes over, they're not going to be able to survive. Because that happened with Ipswich. I think, they had an awful start with Paul Hurst, then Paul Lambert took over, he couldn't do anything. And I think that would be the same with Watford. I think now Pearson's in, he might get results, but it's going to be very, very difficult to survive. And I can't see it happening.
Well, I actually asked people on Twitter what they thought. Was it a good appointment? And 30% of people said yes, 70% said no.
Oh.
So tough times. But looking where they are, they could get out. It's not much. It's just
No.
a good run could get you out. But
Yeah.
it's at the moment nobody's sort of stringing a good run together.
No, especially at the bottom. It's very close at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, very close. Well, we'll move on to Sunday's games. We'll do them we'll do them a bit quicker. Let's find. Here we go. Leicester are now 8 points behind Liverpool in the title race after thrashing Aston Villa 4-1.
Yep.
Are we now saying that if Man City are title contenders, but they're
Well,
14
not really
behind,
now.
are Leicester the surprise package this season?
I'd like to say yes, but Liverpool are just running away with it. I guess, Leicester are the closest team to Liverpool. They're second in the league, so you maybe can say that they're title contenders, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Liverpool are too far gone now.
Okay, well, Brendan Rodgers now has won the last 8 games in the Premier League in a row. That's their best ever winning streak. Aston Villa suffered the heaviest home defeat since Chelsea when they lost 4-1 to them in April 2016. But it's a little bit concerning for Aston Villa at the moment. They're sort of the 17th. Results are not going their way at the moment.
They have got a decent squad, and we've said from the start that they definitely have enough to stay up, but it's tough for promoted teams, except Sheffield United, who haven't really had a tough time. But coming into the Premier League, they've had a couple of seasons in the Championship. They've got this kind of new team together. They made quite a lot of signings in the summer. It might now be enough time for them to gel, but they still haven't really played with each other that much. So it's going to be difficult for them, but I do think that they have enough to stay up this season.
Okay, well, moving on to the next game. Newcastle got a late-minute winner against Southampton.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is weird. Newcastle are unbeaten in 7 Premier League games at St James Park. This number has never been surpassed by Rafa Benitez, and the longest run was from Alan Pardew, which was 9 games in April 2012.
Wow. Who would have thought that under Steve Bruce?
Yeah, Newcastle has surprised a lot of people this season.
Yeah.
I know Leicester surprised a lot of people, but Newcastle have to be sort of the people going under the radar. We all expected it to be a hard season, coming in with what's going on off the pitch with the owner and the fans, but on the pitch, it looks like it's been an absolute success.
Yeah, I think so. I think, they come into this. I think even their own fans thought that they would be going down this year. At the start of the season, they're saying that they were favourites. But they've been a surprise package this year. And it's surprising because Steve Bruce, he didn't have a great time at the end of his Aston Villa career. So at the start, I thought that was the wrong appointment, but I've been proved wrong once again when it comes to football. So good for them.
Well, the Southampton manager described it as Newcastle tactics were just to hit it to the 10-foot man in Andy Carroll, and that's what they did, and it works. And Andy Carroll looks like he could be back. Joe Linton, 40 million, bring on Carroll, who's free, and he's flying.
Yeah. Andy Carroll's always been a good striker in the Premier League.
Always been a good striker. Well, we're now going to get on to your second favourite team in the
very
land.
Funny.
Norwich lost 2-1 to Sheffield United. Norwich have lost a Premier League game for the first time after being ahead this season. And this is the first ever comeback Sheffield United has done to win a game this campaign.
Wow.
It's a bit concerning for Norwich because I think in the last 7 games they've shipped 2 goals. Or I can see 2 goals at home, so they have to win by 3.
Yeah.
But they don't seem to be doing that.
No, they don't. I think it's Norwich are in a lot of trouble at the moment. I think they have been getting. I mean, they got a result against Arsenal. I know Arsenal were having a poor season, but that was a decent result. They beat Man City somehow. But I just don't think. I think from the start of the year, I've said that their defence isn't good enough for this league, and I think that's showing. They're decent attacking wise, but they just leak goals, and that's going to be a problem for them if they want to stay up. Yeah,
that does seem like a problem. And Sheffield United doing a nice little comeback, which is good to see. And Chris Wilder describes his team as very good in his not smiley way whatsoever. He doesn't seem to smile.
No, he never does.
We'll go into this game. Brighton draw 2-2 with Wolverhampton Wanderers. Nothing sort of happened.
No, 4 goals in the first half though.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And also Arsenal got their first victory under Freddie Ljungberg. Winning 3-1 against West Ham, putting even more pressure on Manuel Pellegrini.
Yes.
Arsenal have ended a 10-game winless streak in all competitions. The last win was 2 months and 3 days ago against Bournemouth.
Wow. That's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago. Arsenal look quite good. They're now back in the top 4 race, we could say.
Yeah.
But could Freddie Ljungberg be the new manager? Could he?
Well, maybe. I don't think he will, though. I think Arsenal are going for someone else. But I don't know who's available. Ancelotti's available.
Yes,
but,
after what happened last night.
Yeah, I said Nuno last week, but I don't think that's going to happen, really. But yeah, maybe they will try for Ljungberg because there isn't really anyone else available that I can think of except Ancelotti, and I'm sure they'll try and go for him. But yeah. Maybe he'll go to Arsenal.
And what about Pellegrini?
Is
Is his time at West Ham coming to an end? We saw it with Sam Bilic when it got really toxic.
Yeah.
He went. Are we maybe seeing it could be the end for him?
Yeah, I think so. I think if these results keeps going as they are, I think it won't be long until he's gone.
Oh, God.
Unfortunately.
That's not good.
The best place in Ipswich to hear the latest football debates, Pitchside Talk on IO Radio.
Yes, this is the best place in Ipswich to hear all the latest food debates from Premier League to Ipswich to Champions League to anything else. Manager sackings is on here on Pitchside Talk on IO Radio. And now, the Champions League, we're going to talk about that. It's back. Last night we saw Liverpool and Chelsea book their places into the last 16 with Tottenham and Manchester City. All English sides have done it again.
Yes.
We're getting good at this.
Yeah, we are.
Getting good at this malarkey thing. I remember the time where one would get through or two and it would be like, what's the whole point of that?
Yeah.
But we'll start off with Liverpool. They played first. They kicked off at 6 o'clock. Too early. Not happy by that. But they won 2-0 against Red Bull Salzburg to book their place and to win the Group E ahead of Napoli. Liverpool now progress through all 3 Champions League groups under Klopp. Before that, they didn't progress the last 2. It's looking quite good.
Yeah, it is.
How important was it for Liverpool to finish top of the group last night?
Well, it was pretty important. I think any team going into Champions League will want to finish top of the group.
Especially if you want it.
Yeah, especially if you want it. But I guess it affects who you play in the next round. I'm not quite sure how it all works, but...
I understand. So I know how it works, Dan.
All right.
I'll explain later.
Yeah, but yeah, very important for Liverpool to get through easily because, I guess they had quite a easy group considering. I think, Napoli are a decent side, but they just sacked Ancelotti, so...
Yes, that's something that's happened.
Yeah, but, we were expecting Liverpool to win the group, and they've done just that.
They have just done that. But I had to ask you, that Salah goal.
Oh.
Now, that's the first goal he's done from outside the box on his right foot.
Yeah. Wow.
It was the first time he scored from that, but that angle was crazy.
Yeah.
How?
I don't know how he got it from there. For him to take it away from the keeper like that and at that angle and still to squeeze it in. And I think there was a defender running back on the line as well. Oh, he's absolutely fantastic.
He can't finish a one-on-one, but he can do that. He missed so many chances in that game.
Oh.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, fantastic goal.
Well, we'll now move on to Chelsea, who also did qualify last night after surviving a late scare against Lille. They won 2-1, but Loic Remy came back and needed to point them.
Wow.
Former
Loic
Chelsea
Remy.
striker. He came back, needed to haunt them. But how crucial was it for Lampard to qualify in the Champions League? He was in a tough group.
Yep.
Valencia also qualified as well, knocking out Ajax.
Yeah, that's quite sad, that is.
Who were in the semi-finals last year.
Yeah.
But Chelsea, how crucial was it to get through?
Yeah, I think that was probably one of their objectives this year. I think that they did have a tough group. I said at the start it was going to be tough for them, but I think they've done well. I think they've got the results they needed and to get through. I think it's good. I don't know who they can get in the next round. I think they've got quite a few tough teams that they can get coming up. So yeah, we'll see how they do in the next round, but good for them to get through the group.
Yes, Chelsea have now progressed through the knockout stage 15 out of 16 times in the Champions League campaigns. Also, Frank Lampard is the first manager since Harry Redknapp in 10/11 to take a team into the knockout stages.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I did not know that until I told you now. But also something about Frank Lampard was he was asked about money last night.
Yeah.
We all know the transfer ban's now been lifted. Players have been rumoured left, right and centre.
Yes.
But will he sign anybody in January to maybe improve his team?
Yeah, I know. He said he was going to try and bring in, someone to replace Hazard. So I guess that'll be a priority. But I don't think they really need to spend too much. I think they've got a decent squad at the moment, and I think it's working under I nearly said Lambert then, Lampard. So I don't think he really needs to change that much. And if he thinks the team is working well together, then fair enough. But maybe they will bring in someone just to be sure, just for like a backup or whatever. But,
Could we maybe see something like Jadon Sancho going there? There's a lot of talk.
Yeah.
They could be going there. The young 19-year-old. Chelsea are apparently set to break their transfer record to sign him. Could we possibly see him there?
Yeah, I think that's quite possible. I think that'd be a good signing for them as well. That's the type of player that probably would be a good replacement for Hazard. I know it's taken quite a long time for them to replace him because of the transfer ban. But that would be a decent signing for them. And yeah, I think that could happen.
That could happen. Well, I actually put it out on a poll, and 570 people voted, so thank you to all the people that voted. And 68% of people said yes, he will go there, and 32 saying no. But we'll have a look at who Chelsea and Liverpool could get in the next round. We'll start off with Liverpool.
Okay.
They won the group, so they get an easier run. But tonight there'll be some teams that need to be sorted out because some haven't qualified just yet. So
Okay.
it's depending on results.
Yeah.
So they could get, for certain, these are the three teams certain at the moment, are Real Madrid, who finished second in Group A. Let's have a look. Yep, in Group A.
Yep.
Borussia Dortmund, who finished second in Group F. Or they could get Lille, who finished second in Group G.
Yes.
And the others need to be confirmed are Shakhtar Donetsk, Atalanta, Atletico Madrid, or Bayern Leverkusen, which will be confirmed tonight. But there's still quite a few tough teams there if you look at it.
Yeah, Madrid and Dortmund, they're probably the standout ones. Lyon, they've got a decent side. That'll be a tough game. I think Leverkusen will be a tough game as well. They've always had quite a good squad, but I think you probably want Donetsk and Atalanta if you want to get through. But do you want a big game in the last 16, or do you want to just have a smaller team to get through?
You know what? As I'm feeling so confident at the moment,
Yeah.
and I've never felt this confident in my life, I actually want Real Madrid. No, I'm serious. I do, because I think that'll get us in the mood. We have it at the Bayern Munich. It got us in the mood.
Yeah.
And we got Porto and we got an easier qualifier. But I think to have a big team at the start, it gets you in that mood, ready for that fighting spirit instead of having an easier run through.
Yeah.
So I would take Real Madrid.
Okay.
I know they're getting a bit better now, but I think why not?
Yeah.
Do it.
Why not?
You're gonna have to play the best at some point in the competition. So do it now.
Yeah. And well, I guess Madrid haven't really had a great time recently, have they?
Oh,
I think
no.
they're second in their league, maybe.
Yeah, they're not doing. I don't think they're doing too well.
They're,
Gareth Bale likes gold clubs.
Yeah, this whole Gareth Bale malarkey.
I would look at where they are in the league.
Yeah. I think they're second in the Liga. Pretty sure.
Here we go. Table. They are second in La Liga, and they are 9 points behind Barcelona, who are on 41 and they're on 32.
Yeah.
So a bit of worrying times, but I'll take them on.
Yeah.
Why not? We'll take them. So, and Chelsea, they could play. This is for finishing second in the group. They could play Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Juventus, PSG, or IB Leipzig.
Yeah, so some very tough teams in there. I think they'll probably want Leipzig.
Really?
In that draw, yeah. But
It's still a tough team. They're quite spontaneous.
Yeah,
they
of course.
top.
Still a tough team. And if you look at Bundesliga, it's mad at the moment because Mönchengladbach are top and Leipzig just second.
And they're being Bayern Munich.
Yes, they beat Bayern Munich at the weekend. So yeah, obviously a tough game. But did Chelsea have enough to beat teams like Barcelona and Juventus and PSG? I'm not quite sure. We'll see about that. But yeah, have to talk to Piers to see who he wants in the next round.
Yeah, I'll get a hold of him. I'll get his response off that. But we'll talk about tonight's games. Two more teams to play in England. Both qualified. Tottenham have travelled to Bayern Munich in search of revenge. Jose Mourinho, what could we expect from Jose tonight? Are we going to maybe see he wants to try and end on a high? He can't overtake Bayern Munich because it's mathematically impossible to do so. But it'd be nice to end on a high in the Champions League.
Yeah, I think he'll probably put a strong team out tonight. They're already through, but they are playing Bayern Munich, so and also they'll want revenge for the 7-2 thrashing that happened last time. So I think there will be a strong team out, but it is going to be tough away in Germany as well. I don't think Bayern Munich are having a great time in the league at the moment. So maybe they have a chance of getting a result. But I guess we'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. And Man City are travelling to Dinamo Zagreb tonight. Top of the group, they're already through.
Yeah.
Dinamo need to win, actually. I forgot to mention Dinamo Zagreb could actually qualify in the group which they are in, same as Atalanta and Shakhtar Donetsk. They can still qualify. So it's quite a big game for them.
Yeah.
But will we maybe see a Man City trying to go in strong to sort of build up the form, what's happened at the moment in the Premier League?
Yeah, I think so. I think there'll probably be a few players that come in that, aren't starters. Like we've seen Phil Foden, he looks like he's going to be starting. But, I feel like whatever squad Man City power is going to be strong. And I don't think Zagreb have really... It's going to be very, very difficult for them. I know they'll be fighting to get into the next round, but it's going to be very, very difficult for them tonight. And I think Man City are going to win.
It's going to be very difficult for them. And also just something on the Champions League. Carlo Ancelotti has been sacked as Napoli manager despite winning 4-0 against Ghent last night and quite unqualified.
Yeah.
But he's been sacked. And there is big rumours of where he could go next. Arsenal and Everton are the biggest rumours. Where should he go? Should he go to Arsenal? Should he go to Everton? Should he go to neither? What should he do?
Probably neither, really. I mean, you know how much trouble both of them clubs in, but I think he's more likely to go to Arsenal if it's going to be between the two. I can't see him going to Everton. I don't think.
Not with all this money and ambition and what's going on with the owners and that. With that squad, he could make them work.
Yeah, he could do, but I just can't see it happening. I'm not sure. I can't really explain why, but would he really go to Everton over Arsenal? If he got the choice, probably not.
Yeah, maybe because of rivalries. But if he did go to Arsenal, it'd be a quality sign. He's won Premier Leagues. He's done well before. But would he? If he did, would he be the man to solve what's going on and off the pitch? We've seen what happened with Napoli with what's been going on and off the pitch with the players and the owners, and he's been caught in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Could he be the man to try and resolve this problem?
Well, I guess he could be. Yeah, I think. I guess Arsenal in a pretty poor situation at the moment, so they're going to have to look into who can sort this out. I'm not really that. I don't really know much about Ancelotti.
No, it's not Chelsea.
I know he managed Chelsea, but
he signed Fernando Torres. He's a very good striker.
Yeah, but
I'm
not like massive Premier League fan, am I? So
no.
So
that's what I'm here to cover. Just tell you Liverpool the best team in the world.
Yeah.
Well, they are technically.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'd say they are. Yeah.
Yeah, they technically are. Well, we're at the end of the show, aren't we, Dan?
Yes,
we're at the end of the show. It's been a good show.
Yeah.
I quite liked it. So we'll see you next week. Before I forget to mention, follow us on our Instagram and Twitter pages, talk_pitch. We release new content on there. Bad stuff.
I think we are our last show before Christmas next week.
Yes, it will be. Yes, I forgot to mention. Yes. Yeah, our last show for Christmas. We've got a little Christmas break where nobody else has.
Yeah. Well, it's Christmas Day on Wednesday, so you don't really want to come in on Christmas Day.
I don't mind, but I don't know what I'm going to be like on air. But I just want to say thanks for listening. Tune in next week. We'll see you next week for the last show of the year. It's crazy to say that.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. And ciao. The whistle has been blown for full time. Tune in next week for another jam-packed show.